Gotcha. It's just a vibrating pillow. So you may have clicked here for some fuzzy handcuffs or vibrating massagers, but what I am going to give you are soldiers and aliens from the most infamous R-rated films that became more famous toy lines than you could ever imagine. And what era were these most popular? Yeah, that's right. You can imagine that. This is PopCon, a salute to all pop culture, but mostly the 80s. So there were plenty of toy lines that derived from R-rated films, but the sexual imagery was left out, as far as I know. But they derived from some of the most visceral violence that ever appeared on screen. And you would never think that this kind of imagery would be targeted to any other audience than the original intended restricted over 17.
Kenner presents new Alien action figure.
Baymax Flow! Quick, shut the airlock! The alien's locked out now! He got through! Give up! Alien can't be beat! We'll zap him with the light! Don, he'll destroy the spaceship! We've lost! Better find another ship! Let's try the kitchen! Another triumph for Alien!
Alien action figure, new from Kenner.
I don't know about you, but if I imagined the alien actually speaking, I never thought he'd sound like a prepubescent 9-year-old in an elementary play. But when I was 9 years old, we had HBO, one of the original cable networks, paid cable, HBO, Cinemax, Showtime. So Alien was playing one night. My mother, upstairs in the bathroom, probably trying to get away from all of us, hears this, and you hear the annoyed, "What?" And I say, "Can I watch the Alien movie on TV?" "Yes." So she just wanted to get rid of me, which was fine. I went down to watch Alien. It was probably the worst mistake I ever made. That beast lived in the recesses and the dark corners of my room for years. And every night, I just prayed it would not show up in my nightmares. So you can imagine my initial surprise when I first found out that there actually was a huge action figure made of this creature back in 1979. But this was not an isolated incident. And let me be clear, I'm not talking about one-off figures or limited edition statues for the adult collector. No, I'm talking about full toy lines created for and distributed at mass retail like Walmart and Target back in the day. So Kenner only released this giant, horrifying creature and targeted towards kids, and the rest of their toy line was canceled for obvious reasons. But they didn't give up trying. The idea to target kids and build toy lines based on adult properties gave every company a rager, and soon Kenner was joined by every other company. They were in a race to find space for their R-rated action figures. And some of those companies grabbed the 80s formula by the balls and made sure to include the surefire marketing hit of the era, the accompanying animated cartoon. Although once I looked at the screen through my fingers. I now am the proud owner of the entire collection and Crew of the Nostromo. So before I reveal and review these most sought after action figures, let's take a look at who paved the way for these guys. This is Highlander. So is this bright-colored Saturday morning cartoon, meant to rewrite the story, tone down the imagery, and make it palatable for kids, and then sell these really brightly colored and tacky figures. This adorable creature is Predator. He's perfect to turn into various versions of the same alien life form. Now, Arnold didn't make it into the toy line. Not yet. But Lava Predator did. Wonder if he has human skinning action. This is Police Academy, perfect for young boys dreaming of being a cop on the beat. This is Jones from Police Academy. Get his action figure with wide mouth action. This is also Police Academy, and the Precinct playset can double as a gay bar. Hey, isn't that the Ghostbusters firehouse? This is Swamp Thing, a disgusting superhero and his movie from the 80s, his cartoon from the 90s, and a not so dynamic or colorful line of action figures. Conan is full of sex and magic, and disemboweling. He'll be perfect for this Saturday morning cartoon and toy line we'll simply call Conan the Adventurer. We all know Chuck Norris. Do you know this animated gem? That's Chuck too. And so is his plastic likeness and all the other Karate Commandos. We cannot be deprived of our animated Chuck Norris and spiffy ascot and headband. Oh, Commando, what fun! Hey, Arnold got an action figure. Maybe he's got arm-slicing action. All of these action figures were at least for ages 5 and up, so they were trying to think responsibly. Remember Wesley Snipes in Demolition Man? This is a pretty good likeness, especially without a cartoon. Don't look too close, though. You'll see that Mattel just saved a little money by recycling the He-Man figure, even his armor. Why is He-Man for 5 and up and Demolition Man for 4? This is the alien we all remember and love. But so is this.
They're unstoppable! unstoppable, but we've got to give it our best shot. Thunder the Marines! We're the Space Marines. Drake, Ripley, Apone, Bishop, and I'm Hicks.
Years after the 86 movie, Alien finally gets a franchise based on that sequel and even starts some concept work and animation for a would-be cartoon. However, like the original toy line, that never came to fruition. But this gem is still in toy stores. This heartwarming tale is Terminator 2, ripe for wonderful action figures of the T-100, T-1000, and, John Connor. Toxie doesn't seem to be hugging that disabled gentleman. This revolting, violent, and grossly sexualized Toxic Avenger became an American hero as the Toxic Crusader. And those Nickelodeon colors on the action figure of the 90s made this Toxie a fan favorite. It's RoboCop and his animated cartoon counterpart. Although a violent adult film, the action figures designed for kids will have them dreaming of killing sexual predators when they get older. Shooting automatic weapons with reckless abandon is the revenge story animators wanted to introduce kids to the world of Rambo, his cartoon, and another sly action figure and toy line. All right, no more delay. Let's talk about the fun and why I'm here. I've been excited to show everybody these action figures. Now, the great thing about these characters, you may notice right off, they are not very detailed. They have 5 points of articulation: the neck, both arms, and at the hips, so both legs move up and down. They're very reminiscent of the 1977 and the original entire Star Wars action figure line. And that's very important because, let's see on here, we can see that on this card back for the character Kane, the Reaction logo, so this is the Reaction figures, it is very similar to the Kenner logo. They were the king of action figures. Kenner created the Star Wars action figure toy line, a toy line that all other toy lines would be based. So we're really hearkening back to that classic card back, that size of character and action figure as well as the articulation. So that's why the Reaction logo looks like that. When it came to Alien, so I have such a love for that original movie. When I wanted the action figures, I really was drawn to the action figures that are reminiscent of what a figure would look like if it came out in 1979. So they look definitely like Luke Skywalker. All right, so here we go. This is this first set here. We can see on the car, the whole box set, which I love, the USC SS Nostromo. That was the spaceship they all were in the original. These are 3 of the characters. Now, we have Kane. Now, he's in his spacesuit, and we'll show him up close a little later, but his helmet is actually broken for a face hugger who's just got in there. We have Lieutenant Ridley, of course, Sigourney Weaver's character, and she comes with Jones the cat. I mean, that was actually a selling point, because there was an individual of her, but I wanted Jones. And Ash right here, he is the synthetic person or the android on board. He's the guy that wasn't very nice in the end. On the back, we have the Collect Them All, which was such a prevalent line for me. I was a collect them all kid. So Collect Them All. There you can see every one of the characters, including a couple of aliens, and they are have this red accent because they are covered in blood. Yeah, so this probably wouldn't be a Target. So that's what this set has. I really love this original. I'm going to see it right here. That's it. This original Alien logo artwork was actually on that Kenner really tall alien figure from 1979. So it's wonderful. My other set I got was a whole nother set of them as well. Same packaging, which is wonderful. But inside you're going to see one of the aliens covered in blood splatter. You are also going to see Captain Dallas, who sadly in one of the most scariest scenes in the ventilation decks meets his demise. And Miss Lambert, oh my goodness, she is such a great actress, and she was such a bitch in this role. But either way, great figure, even has her cowboy boots. So even with the limited articulation and the very barely resemblance of these actors, you can tell who they are. And my final set was another set of 3, and it was Parker and Brett, kind of the maintenance guys that fix the ship, and they come along with another alien spattered in blood. So Parker and Brett, everybody looks clearly who they are, and that really makes me happy. Now, the aliens were great, but they were covered in blood, so I simply wanted my final piece, another single card back, to be the regular first original Alien. And remember, there's no S here. This isn't Aliens. It's not based on Aliens. This is a fairly new toy line. It is an adult collector toy line. And so we're going to open this stuff up. check it out. So I've decided, since there's so many boxes to open, that I did want to show these to you guys close up, see them in the nice white box so everybody can see the detail. But I do want to open them to share that opening sensation, because I've been sitting on these for a long time and I really want to open them. So I'm going to open that first set I got with Kane in the spacesuit, and of course the most famous final girl, Ellen Ripley. So there's just tape on the sides, and the funny thing is I really love this packaging, so I may keep one of them pristine. I'm not sure, but other than that, I really just, you know what? I do have scissors. I'm going to use scissors because I don't need to be so violent, right? All right, so here we go, opening the box, and as I always say, I'm taking it out. You want me to take it out? I'll take it out.
Oh yeah.
It is a large package for the 3 figures with some extra room in the box for the artwork there. So, but here they are. Well, there we go. That's always what happens when you want to get in the toy box so bad. Here is Kane right there. Kane wearing a spacesuit. These spacesuits were phenomenal. If you remember this film, like I haven't said it a few times, one of my absolute top 5 movies of all time is Alien. So there's only one other I'm going to actually open with you guys, and that is the Alien itself. Here we go. Open that package, and his blister card, he was on profile. Ooh, scary already, yeah. His tail does swing up and down, so swings back and forth and around. I'm looking about his mouth. I see a little extra mouthpiece there, but oh, and it does. It slides out. Okay, so it slid out just a little bit. We're going to look at that in just a moment. So here we have our Alien, and we've got... Did she must have shot out somewhere. Oh well, we'll pretend it's Bishop fighting. Ah! Okay, we'll be right back. Reaction and Super 7 came together to create boxed and individual carded pieces. The Alien. As I noted, there's limited articulation and detail as expected, but the design is spot on, including a retractable interior mandible with slide on the top of his head. This mandible is a very thin, sharp piece of metal, so probably could not be sold to kids. This is Kane with the spacesuit, and it is a fantastic reproduction of that spacesuit. The cracked helmet is awesome detail, and the helmet is detachable to go along with the next figure. He may not look like John Hurt, but it's the Alien's version of giving head that's important with this little facehugger accessory. And here's that little bitch, Ash. Keeping with the R-rated theme, this is Ash after blowing his load, but before Parker takes him out. Now the figure is the same height as everybody else, but if you didn't know it was Ash, unlike the Alien, he does give good head. And then there's Captain Dallas. He was the second of the crew to go after Kane, and in the most intense ways ever in a film. He does have Nostromo written across his brown leather jacket, which I think is great, and comes with one of the few accessories, a flamethrower. This is Lambert, really great design, very different. You can tell the different female mold. She comes with her cowboy boots and one of the trackers as well. It's good to point out that the red on her shoulder is representing the Nostromo patch everyone wore on their uniform. I chose to put Brett with one of the bloodied aliens since that was kind of similar to his scene in the movie. He does have his Nostromo patch on his hat with an alien that actually has a mandible stuck out. Unlike Parker here, Parker has one of the other bloodied aliens that has the same metal mandible that is slid out from the top of his head, but I have him here reenacting that scene as well. And of course, there's Lieutenant Ellen Ripley with Jonesy. She was so great to save that cat from certain doom. She's got the other accessory of the flamethrower and is in the green jumpsuit she had for most of the film. Just for funsies, here's another figure of Ripley made famous in the great movie ride at Disney's Hollywood Studios. Here's all of the aliens and Jonesy. In the original film, a skull was put on the costume itself before being covered with a translucent dome. These domes do pop off, and that is where the slide comes to put out the interior mandible. There are some different mouths, and the paint application is different on the two bloodied characters. Here's some shots in comparison with my action figures to the press releases of the cast in the original release of Alien. New toy plastic smell. Heaven. You know, we got a lot of great alien graphic designs over at Collection 82. Collection 82 is our sister site, sister business. Some great pop culture mashup art, illustration, graphic design. So check it out. Lots of alien stuff, like this one. I must admit, those look pretty awesome on my shelf. So they're great figures. I'm so happy with them. And since I love that movie so much, just having them in my collection just makes me feel good. Even though they aren't the most extensive, detailed, or articulate, it really matches what I go for. So really happy you guys joined me. I hope you enjoyed this look, this reveal, this review of the Super 7 and Reaction Alien action figures, adult collector only. If you like this content, please remember, if you didn't subscribe, please do it now. Like, share, comment. Tell me if you like to pose your action figures on the shelf in scenes that are famous from the movie or the TV show. I've only got one thing left to do. Let's get rid of all this. As usual. Well, there we go. Thanks for joining me for PopCon, and till next time.